right, guys, how are you? My name is Jason Contraveos, and I'm going to be the new host here of the Addison Sports Special, Once Upon a Time, hosted by the legendary Don of Sports, Don Figarelli. And today on the show, I have first with me Dean Stathopoulos.
Hello, everybody.
And me and Dean are going to kind of talk about the origin and the genesis of how we even came to bringing the show back and trying to put a new spin on things.
Yeah, you know what? It started very organically, if you really want to know about that. Last year, obviously, we lost Don in July. And since then, people were always wondering what's happening with the show. You know, he was a legend in town, as you said. So many different guests. I'd been on the show numerous times. We've had friends. We've had students from the high schools, from the grade schools, from Rec Club, from AYS, AGSP. And as soon as it was gone, everybody was missing something. So Jay approached me, said, what do you want to do? Can we do something like this? My first thought was, well, we have to ask the family. We needed to get their blessing and their permission on that. We did talk with the family. We then approached, had a meeting with the village over here with Don and Mike and talked about our ideas, what we want to do, and kind of go along the lines of what Don was doing and focus on the sports in town. Again, from every grade level, every age level. And, you know, you may want to go into not just the sports and the accolades and the accomplishments, but we're looking to get other stories out there too, right?
Well, for sure. I mean, it's something, this is a tight-knit community, and it's something I brought up to you. I've seen it really come to fruition a lot through the Rock and Wheels events that have been throughout the summer. You just to see everybody come together like that, such a fun atmosphere, a real community vibe. You want to keep that going in as many ways as possible. And I have a unique perspective, being that I've done a lot of work through Addison Trail, announcing a lot of their varsity sports events started out soccer, and then over the years I've added football, boys and girls basketball, boys baseball we've done for a couple years now, and now flag football for the girls. So there's been so many opportunities for me to see organically sports stories unfolding. And then that's not even counting the youth programs that we have in this town. Programs that when I was growing up here in Addison didn't even exist, but have come to fruition and are really beneficial and really like a major part of the growth of the high school programs is planting that seed early on. And I want everyone to feel like they have a platform to get those stories told and to get those stories shared, whether it's a team reaching a championship or winning a title, or whether it's something as simple as just a good story of sportsmanship. I mean, I grew up just being a sports fan. You know, fan is short for fanatic. Yeah. And I think I myself bleed blazer blue, and I have grown up, I went to Addison Trail. I attended St. Philip here in town before that, and then Addison Trail. So I've seen a lot of things grow in this town, and I just want to be able to keep a spotlight on it the way that Don did. I mean, I grew up being a little kid watching public access station here in Addison, watching Don, wishing one day I could get interviewed by Don. And now, as it just so has it, I'm on the other side of the camera doing the interviewing.
Yeah, and we're both very excited to do this. And you mentioned with the schools, we both talked about that, but I don't think people in town realize just how many sports organizations there are.
Oh, for sure.
We have not only the AYS and the schools and the park district, but there's soccer clubs, there's volleyball clubs. Yes. You're talking flag football. I know people talk about doing wiffle ball in town as well. And this is something we can bring everybody together and build on it and just, again, work on that sense of community that we have and grow it into something even greater. Oh, and we have a lot of opportunity in town. We have almost 40,000 people in here. And as you mentioned earlier with Rock and Wheels, we all see each other all the time, and it's a great start that we have here. And again, if anybody has ideas, reach out to both of us.
Oh, for
Not
sure.
a problem at all. We'd love to hear the stories out there and move on.
Yeah, no, once we have this stuff posted, we can have an email address put out there if people want to share stories. Me and Dean are both in the community enough. You can tell us to our faces also. So, no, I think it's the type of thing where I don't want anyone to feel like they're being neglected or they're not being included in this. So even if it doesn't mean you can get an interview in each episode, even just giving us a flyer you've made for signups for a camp, for when a sport is starting its season, for any sort of info that you want to share and you want a bigger platform for it, if you guys share it with us, we're going to make sure we get it on an episode.
Yeah. You've said it well, said it perfectly. So with that, why don't we take a quick break and come back with our first guests?
Oh, that'd be great.
All right, and welcome back, everybody. We have our first guest here joining us at the table, and I'm going to pass it over to Jay here to introduce who we have.
Thank you, Dean. So today we have with us the Don of Sports, Don Figueroa's children. We have Terry and John. We're happy that we were not only given their blessing to continue the show in Don's legacy, but they're here with us today to share some fun stories about Don.
Well, thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Jay, let me put up this picture. Most of you guys know the Don of Sports if you watched the ACTV for the last 40 years. He started in 1984. You'll see Terry here. I think it was one of the first shows. She was a makeup artist for the Don of Sport.
Oh.
And she got him looking good. You know, Dad would always come on with a nice suit.
Uh-huh.
And he loved to dress up. He was, dress for success type of guy, starting in the 80s and stuff. Mm-hmm. But today we're more casual. I'm more casual. I love the jersey you got on there, Jay. It's how he would like the show to continue, and we're great that you guys really picked it up and picked up the ball with that. So
for sure.
Appreciate that. Yeah. So that was a big one. Mm-hmm. This Stu here, he started out. Wasn't always the Don of Sports, Mm-hmm. That came up, I think, about the third or fourth years in. He's had a funny story. He's playing a little softball game, celebrity, with Mike North, who's another radio celebrity, mm-hmm. and. He got introduced to him. He's like, I'm Don Figueroa. And he's like, Don, are you the Don? And then he's like, you should be the Don. And, because he was Italian. Mm-hmm. And it just kind of went from there, snowballed. And he loved playing the role of the Don of Sports. He'd be out on every sport, too. It wasn't mm-hmm. just baseball and football. He would do track events, bowling, which we'll be having today. He loved bowling, golf, and I know Dean, you were in. He'd run some golf tournaments for charity, and weren't you in one of those?
Yeah, one or two.
Yeah,
one of my best days on the course.
Right.
But thanks for bringing that up.
But it was fun, and again, he got the whole community together. Mm-hmm. So we're excited, Jay, that you're going to be doing that again, because. Whether you're from the high school, the rec club, as Dean had said, there's so many groups which I'm sure are going to be coming up to you wanting to be on your show, and we appreciate you for taking it up.
Yeah. I did have one quick question. What were some of the other events that Don would do? Yes, we talked about the golfing.
Yeah.
But I remember one time he asked me to play basketball with other business owners against high school alum from AT, which wasn't a fun day. But give us some ideas, some of the other things he did for this town.
Yeah, the one was every year he'd run the celebrity basketball game. It was pretty good because he'd bring in celebrities from all sports. The soccer celebrity jockey. What was the name of the famous jockey?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Willie Roy for soccer, mm-hmm. and then some of the, and he'd have those guys. Who were local celebrities, and some made it nationally. He'd play the guys mm-hmm. here in town, and that was always fun for the community to get involved and stuff. And we just again hope there's so many other new events like pickleball's coming up. I know in Addison you got some courts coming in. That would be great to get the community involved in that. And whatever you guys got planned, we look forward to that.
Definitely. Yeah. No, now that jockey, that wasn't Eddie Arroyo, was it?
Yes.
Oh man, another. You talk about a legend here in Addison. Yes, great guy.
You maybe saw that show. Remember that guy? That's right. That was a guy.
He was actually a close family friend.
Yeah.
Great guy. My younger brother was good friends with his son growing up. So he would always, when he was at Arlington, he was one of the highest ranking guys there. We got great treatment over there at the racetrack when we threw his name around. So
that was very good. And then too, also in studio, he had so many terrific guests: pro bowler Carmen Salvino, and on location, he did Bobby Hall. When Bobby Hall got the street named after him, Bobby Hall Way, he was there to interview Bobby. And even by Dean's place over here, Muggs and Manor, Doug Buffone came in. You had him in, and he'd do that. So again, we're so excited to see what you guys got planned and see how it grows, and develops, in Addison sports. So,
we're just getting going here, but glad to have you guys on for the first one to kick it off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I know Jay's been watching a lot of the past episodes, too.
Yeah.
And again, you talked about the wardrobe. I think one of these days we're going to have him coming out here. Well, pinstripe, fedora.
You know what? We'll do it not the Don for a special episode. I know his Christmas episode is pretty cool, so maybe for that. But I got to show off my jersey and my sneaker collection a little bit over here. So,
right.
We'll do it my way for now.
And that's good, Jay, because what the Don loved, my dad loved, is humor. He liked making people laugh. He wasn't, there was times to be serious, but he loved sports, sportsmanship. So he appreciates, not just a bragging winner, but a good sport, a person and good character. And and I'm sure you're going to bring that to the.
We got a lot of guests like that coming on early on our first few episodes that are going to exhibit all of those type of characteristics. So, no, definitely a good nod to him.
Good.
Nice.
And I think Terry.
I just wanted to say thank you to the Village of Addison and the
Don Weiss, all the guys,
Don Weiss and
Mike Times,
everyone
everybody
who
involved.
worked
There's so many
behind the
people involved.
scenes and the sponsors, the guests, taking time out to come out here and share their talents and stories. And he did it for 40 years.
40 years, until he was 9 years old,
Yeah, he enjoyed it. He enjoyed all the people, and he just, we just want to thank everyone, really. Really appreciate you guys taking this on.
Thank you.
And really means a lot to us that you invited us here today. So.
Oh, well, we may have you back.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask for myself. But
Thanks
depending
so
on
much,
how
you
we look on
guys.
TV, we may
Thank
need
you
a
so
makeup
much.
artist with the next one. Just an FYI, I want to put it out there for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys look terrific. But thank you.
you guys look great. You're young. So.
Well, thank you. Yes.
No, I mean, we'll be blessed if we could do this another 40 years just like Don did. So that's the plan.
Great.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, again, thanks
so
for
much.
coming out, guys. We will have you
Thanks so
back
much.
again as this progresses and moves on. And I think
luck.
we have another group of special guests coming on after this break, right,
Yes,
Jay?
we do. We'll be right back.
All right.
Thanks again.
All right, guys, we are back, and my first guest here on the show with our first sports segment is our Addison Trail varsity girls bowling team and Coach Rob Shader. Thank you guys for joining me today.
Thanks for having us.
Fresh off of your trip downstate to Rockford.
Yes.
Pretty magical season all in all. Not only that, 3 in a row, 3 times down to state. Before these 3, when was the last time AT varsity bowling made it down there?
It would have been 1990, I think it was 3 or 94 was the last time they were downstate.
Wow.
Yeah, they made it through the regional, they won the sectional, and then made it downstate. I believe it was 93 or 94.
Okay, so I mean, that means it's not an easy thing to do. So
No.
I mean, I hope you girls don't take it for granted, especially those of you that did it 3 times in a row. So that's really awesome. I wanted to have you guys on. And even what's a cool thing that ties it in for me too is we talk about Don Figarelli. Don actually had 4 of these 5 girls on the first year that you guys went to state. It probably would have been all 5, except you were in 8th grade, so you were, and Coco was not quite ready to be on the team yet.
no.
But knowing the way her dad bowls, I'm sure that you probably were good enough to be on the team then, just not legally allowed to. So, but you guys, this same group was there at state last year also, right?
Correct. They made it last year and then the year before. Most of them were down there. 3-time regional champs as well, so that's a huge deal. Very hard to do as well. So.
This is going to be tough holes to fill next year, no?
Well, yeah, we're losing 4 of them, so yes, we definitely have some.
When you lose 4, that's tough. Now you got some up and comers ready to fill those holes.
We do have some JV girls.
Yeah.
We had 1 girl that bowled with us for conference matches because you bowl 6 girls during conference and then 5 on weekend tournaments. So we do have 1 that was with us for most of the year for conference, but then there's a couple other kids that are pretty good that'll be up.
So on a personal level, Coach, you're going to miss these girls a little bit, no?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Not just as players, athletes, but just as individuals as well.
Well, yeah, something I alluded to when I was talking to you guys before you came on is the type of trust that it takes to be part of a successful team in any sport. And I think that you have to trust your teammates, you have to trust your coach. And if you can't do that, there's really no point in doing this, no?
Absolutely.
So you guys kind of felt like you built on that trust over
Absolutely.
over the
I mean,
years?
I've been part of their lives for the last 4 years. I've been part of my life for the last 4 years. So we've definitely built a lot of trust and had some good times, some bad times over the 4 years, but it's been a great journey.
Well, yeah, they're not all going to be good. So, yeah, riding those waves, I think, is a big part of us being a successful team, too. And I also see how tight-knit all the parents are, too.
Absolutely.
You guys are all kind of a real unit. And that was fun. That was one of the reasons why I volunteered to come and be a part of your guys' senior night. And also just being a crazy Blazer fan and a sports fan, trying to be there for potential undefeated regular season, winning conference.
Yeah.
2 things that you did check boxes for, correct?
Absolutely, yeah. That was our second in the last 3 years of winning conference. We shared it with Morton 2 years ago and then had a couple really close matches last year, so we did not get conference championship last year, but this year we were 8-0 and won it all by ourselves, so it was a big milestone for us.
Really, really cool. Well, girls, I want to talk to some of you guys a little bit. So I guess, Valentina, you're starting there with the microphone. Like I said, you were on this show 2 years ago with Don. So Being on here now, building with these girls over the 3 years in the program. Well, you were all 4 years you were technically in the program, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. What is one of your favorite memories being on the team through these years?
I think my favorite memory out of all 4 years was this year when we won regionals, because it came down to the very last pin, and I bowled my last ball, and then I turned around and everybody just started going crazy.
Well, if I was told the story correctly, you finishing that off was pretty instrumental to pulling off that win, correct?
Yeah. It was.
Yeah, and I believe they kind of sheltered you from that information. You didn't know, but everyone else knew?
Yeah, everybody else knew that we needed, well, first I had to have 2 strikes, and then we needed, I think it was 6 pins at the very end, and I threw my last ball, and I wasn't doing good that game, so I didn't think I was going to get anything, but it went straight to the middle, so I thought maybe it would split, and I had no idea, and then it was 6 pins, so I turned around, everybody was silent, and then all of a sudden it was yeah, we won.
Wow, so it was, so when you get those 3 potential throws in the 10th frame, if you didn't go strike, it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, we wouldn't have won.
That is amazing. So I don't know how you girls kept that to yourselves. I get it. I wouldn't want to freak her out either, but oh my God. So regionals was pretty nuts. And I know, how cool was it too? I know your dad and your mom both bowl.
Yeah.
Now, is that coming up is that who taught you how to bowl? When you were real little?
Yeah, my
up?
dad pretty much taught me all the basics and stuff. And then obviously I got better with coaches and stuff during high school.
Yeah, well, how cool is that to have your dad helping out and your sister on the team? Have a real family vibe there?
Yeah, it was fun.
Well, let's pass the mic on to Grace. So we got in between the Pizzafrato girls here. Now, Grace, can you give me a moment outside of regionals that kind of stands out to you over the whole time you were in the program, not just this year?
Yeah, there were so many of my favorite moments throughout the years. Honestly, just being able to not only grow in bowling, but also as a friend. He's been probably one of my lifelong friends, and every moment that we've had probably one of my favorite moments. But I know sectionals is always competitive times, because I know it's going to be a hard tournament to do. So probably even this sectionals this year and last sectionals was probably one of my favorite moments, because you can see how we are a team and how it doesn't just rely on one person, and how each of us help the team get to where we need to be.
Well, no, and I've seen that with all of you guys. When I've been able to catch some of your matches, I think it's really cool that no one's going to throw strikes every frame. We know that, but it's cool to see you guys pick each other up and to, hey, I got you on the next one when one of your teammates maybe doesn't have a great frame, and vice versa, kind of sharing the load that it's not on one person. It's you need all 5 of you to be mentally checked in, and I think that's why when I watch you guys, I can even take, when you guys were at state this year, the first 2 games you guys were really killing it. That 3rd game you were struggling a little bit, but you were still focused. You were still keeping each other's energy high. You were still motivating each other. You were still, So I think, those are some of. It's not always the 250s and the 260 games to be most proud of. Sometimes it's those games you got to gut it out. And so it could be the lane conditions that's a little bit, and then to not let that get in your head too much, and to just go and throw your best ball. Grace, I know also you were named Athlete of the Month in January. I think I saw your name when I was driving by on the marquee. That's really cool. And you nonchalantly mentioned that I think you bowled a 278?
Yeah.
Okay. And what was that? That was that a high? Would you say top 10 in conference, or what was?
Yeah.
Would you know better?
Yeah, that's so. The records for our conference go back. The 70s, to be honest with you, when Proviso West actually was the first conference champ way back in 1974. So the records are pretty detailed. They have individual records, team records. There was a girl that bowled a 300, so she's obviously the top girl in conference. So, but Grace's, she was tied for 10th with 2 other girls at 278 with her high game. So yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm mad I missed that game. I did catch a 266 out of you, though.
Yes.
8 strikes in a row that game. Okay, I know. Now you too. I believe your grandfather taught you how to bowl, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that during COVID? Is that kind of where you started picking it up?
Yeah,
really?
I think we both of us started on a league together, and then my grandpa basically taught me my basics, and then I just learned as the years have gone by.
I've seen some old pictures of him. He was a pretty accomplished bowler in his
Yeah,
day,
yeah.
going tournaments around the country. So, no, that's cool. So, and you two, all 4 years were through the program, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Why don't you pass it on to, her birth certificate is Alessandra, but her friends call her Coco. She's a friend of the show, so we're going to call her Coco. Coco, back to a similar question I asked your sister. How was it kind of having that family affair, having your sister on the team, having your dad around to help too?
I mean, I loved it, honestly. Like, growing up, like, me and Valentina were always on, like, golf together or bowling, like, on leagues. But then high school, like, we spend every day together, and we're just with each other, and, like, Grace, too. Like, all of us, honestly. Like, we all became, like, one big family with it, and we just always see each other, and we love it.
So you haven't been in the program as long as the other girls, but can you give me a fun story in the time you've been in here? Some of the memories that you'll take from this?
I mean, my favorite was our senior night, which was our last conference game. And that was when, if we lost it, we would have tied for conference. But if we won it, then we would have won conference undefeated. And it was a bittersweet moment, but we had music playing and we were all hyped up. And I think we all bowled great that day. And it was just a good way to end the conference season.
It was really good energy in the alley that day, so no, that makes a lot of sense. Are you going to miss these girls having as your,
Yeah, 100%.
your support system?
Yeah. I mean, I know that they're still going to come next year and support me in all my tournaments and whatever, as much as they can with college going on. But yeah.
I mean, it's an interesting dynamic change for you. You've been kind of the baby of the group, and now you're going to be looked at as like a leader of the team next year. Are you ready for that?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. I mean, you've got the ability and the talent to justify being a leader. So yeah, handle that. I mean, and that's what I think is great about sports and being a part of a team is that, you know, you get those opportunities to kind of learn life lessons that aren't just applicable to playing the sport and bowling a ball down a lane. So, well, it's going to be a big opportunity for you next year. I know you'll miss these girls.
Yeah, 100%.
Why don't we pass it on to Angie? Now, Angie, I love to watch you bowl, I have to tell you. Your energy and Angie's strike, it's like, I don't know how you don't get jacked when you are watching Angie throw a strike. So I think it's a big part of the team, and that's why I'm happy to have all of you guys here, because I think you all have your own unique personalities that made this team as unique as what it was, and also made it as successful as what it was. So I want to, with you too, where did you get your first love for bowling? Who introduced you to the game, and who taught you early on?
So my mom and like honestly my whole family, a lot of my uncles, they do bowl in a league together. It's like family bonding time. And sometimes I went with them, bowled, used my mom ball sometimes. And I mainly started my love for bowling freshman year. Like I was never in a league. I was never bowling every day until my freshman year.
So what's a memory you'll take from this group?
Probably the invention of the word hootenanny with this team.
I never asked questions about it, but I did enjoy it when I was at your matches.
Yes.
So do you want to tell me a little bit about the origin of that?
It was last year. I got a strike, and I sometimes get a little too hyper and a little too jacked.
Okay.
And I just said hootenanny really loud. And now it's become our chant for every strike we get. We ask, can I get a hootenanny? And we all hootenanny together.
I love it. I love it. I love it. That's awesome. So what are you going to miss most about this group?
Oh, that's hard. It's like my second family. Like I look forward each day coming to bowling, and now it's something not to do anymore. So it's now trying to find time to replace them in a way, but it's hard to do that because I see them every day, and now I'm not going to.
Well, I hope you guys make the most out of your time over these next few months before everybody starts making their moves to college and whatever, and get more time together, because you guys have been pretty magical together. So it's been fun. No more. You guys going to maybe join another league outside of this, or tournaments or anything? Or?
I sure hope so. I was just telling Shader earlier that we should all join a league together so we can beat him.
Well, I was going to say, I've seen the way this guy bowls. Where did he pick this up from?
That's his favorite.
Have you been hiding that all this time? I don't know.
You know what? I bowled in middle school. I was in a league, and I haven't bowled in a very long time. And with two kids, you know, in other sports and stuff. So, yeah, I bowled a couple weeks ago with girls and showed them who was boss.
Yeah, I heard they were a little upset with your results.
They were a little upset. So,
well, all right, you guys get a chance to get him back then. That's fine.
It's okay, Coco got him.
Yeah, good. As long as one of you did, that's good. She got you for everyone. So, all right, well, let's pass on to Amelia here. AKA Bucket. I wonder why they call you that.
Oh, I wonder why.
Now, again, as I said, you just have this lightheartedness, this sense of humor that you bring to the team that I think is just instrumental. I mean, we could allude to the awesome dance video that you guys posted. I think that shows so much about how you guys are a real, like, just family, and that type of, like, if you could let loose and, like, be open enough to have fun in that type of way, like, I'm sold. You're my type of player, and I want an Amelia on my team, no matter what we're playing. So, no, you have fun with that? You have fun with stuff like that? I mean, you try to.
Absolutely. Yeah, I always try my best to make these guys laugh, even when they're making me mad. I always try my best to just make sure that they're getting everything they want out of this team, because I love these guys, and yeah. No,
I could see it out of all you guys. I'm curious, what pound ball do all of you throw? We'll start with Valentina.
I use a 15-pound.
So we have 15,
14,
14,
15,
15,
15.
14.
14. Okay, so you're all in the 14, 15. See, one of my friends, I think I shared this with Grace, we'll call him Bill B for anonymity. Actually, no, that's too obvious. We'll call him B Bizot. He was telling me that he was kind of bullied and pushed into getting a heavier ball because they were like, come on, you're a man, get a 16 or whatever. And he said he went and bowled and really messed his arm up pretty bad his first time bowling with it. So I think if 15 is good enough for you guys, I think 15 is good enough for me too. So I think I've seen your results, so I think I'll stick with the 15. But no, that's awesome. So Amelia, where did you start picking up bowling? How did you start bowling?
So I was very, very young. My younger brother, he wanted to do bowling, and as the oldest sibling, I couldn't let him have what he wanted to himself. So I also asked to join the league, and I bowled with Grace and Val since we were little in the league, and I didn't like it at all, and I didn't like bowling at all until I joined this team, and Shader helped me out a bunch. He had to deal with me for 4 years, and just being with these guys has made it so much more enjoyable than I ever thought it could be.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, I'm really happy for you guys that you got to finish it off with another bang after 2 great years. You got to finish this one with the undefeated, winning conference, soul all to yourself, winning regionals, advancing in sectionals. Not only that, I know sectionals, advancing in sectionals was pretty dramatic too. So you guys had your ups, your downs, your ones where you dominated, your ones where you had to claw, tooth and nail, and I think that you guys kind of showed that there's a million different ways to win, and you guys won every different way of them. So thank you for coming on, and I'm happy to give you guys the recognition you deserve for 3 straight runs to state. Also, our athletic director, Bear, I want to give him a lot of credit because we had state wrestling and bowling, and he had to drive all the way around. Where was wrestling?
It's at Champaign. So.
Yeah, so he was at Champaign to Rockford, and even though he wasn't your good luck charm, we know. The fact that I want to give a shout out to our wrestlers, you had Matthias Hetzlinger that went down to state, and then you had Nico Duarte, who ended up placing 4th in state, which is the highest placer that we've had since 1983, I believe. Yes. So a really big accomplishment. And Matthias was the athlete of the month for the boys for January too, along with Grace. So we're going to hopefully get the wrestlers on our next episode, but really happy to have you girls on. So thanks for coming in, and good luck to you guys wherever you are in the future. And Coco, good luck to you next year leading the new Lady Blazers, all right? Rob, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having us.
All right, we'll see you guys.
Thank you.
You know what? I just wanted to prove to people that this, is an organic love of Addison and sports that I have. So my senior superlative when I was at Addison Trail was most school spirit, okay? So this is something that I not only had as a kid, I'm carrying it through to this day.
I'm going to cut you off. Be honest with everybody, would you? I know that wasn't the only thing you got in high school.
Well, I mean, it's the important one, though.
It is.
It's the important one. So we don't.
In whose eyes?
Well, I mean,
let's see the second one. Don't make me show it.
If you must know, I was also voted most likely to be in a boy band. So I didn't make it in the boy band, but I was probably most likely, so it was fair. But the school spirit is what we're talking about. This is organic. This is not fake. This is not forced. This is not fabricated. Unlike LeBron's legacy. But, that's a whole other story for another day.
That's a different debate. So we'll try to get LeBron on some point with MJ.
Yes, maybe. But we'll MJ first, Today for the first episode, I went with 85 MJ, hoping that this is the start of greatness. So let's see where we can go from here.
Very good. All right, again, it was a pleasure. Sir. We'll see everybody next month.
Yes,
thanks for tuning in.